Today, my guest is Stav Economou, one of the best Cyprian fighters, one of the best Cyprian MMA fighters. So, for one another great interview. So, please, Stav, can you please talk on your background, MMA and such stuff?
Well, I started to train in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu when I was 18 under Daniel Bazotta at TSG. Um, Originally I I went to this gym to try and do an amateur wrestling class. The class wasn't on, but this jiu-jitsu class was on, and I just heard about the UFC. I just watched a few of the early UFC videos, and I just started doing that jiu-jitsu class, and then I just kept it up. I haven't looked back since.
So, I guess your basic fighting style is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as much as I could have seen from your bouts.
Yeah. Like that's my main. Well, that's what I began with. But I'm an MMA fighter, so whatever the fight needs to be is where I'm comfortable. If I have to keep it standing, I'll keep it standing. If you have to go on the floor, then we'll go to the floor. Like either way, I'm happy.
Oh, great. So, can you talk about your titles? I saw you earned few of them.
Yeah, I'm the UWC world champion, UWC British champion. I've won a few grappling competitions, jiu-jitsu competitions. I've recently got my Brazilian jiu-jitsu brown belt as well. So yeah, so I've got a couple of titles.
Oh, it's great. So, do you have a trademark in a competition? Such a trademark that makes you different, known among other fighters, and
Well, I would guess my haircut is a bit of a trademark. Uh, uh,
definitely. Oh, this is
yeah.
this is one of the greatest answer I heard, honestly. All right.
Yeah, well, it's true. Like I've had a haircut I've had a strange haircut for every fight I've had, and like when I go to events, like when I'm not fighting, and I have just normal hair, a lot of times people they don't recognize me because I haven't got a crazy haircut.
Yeah, I've noticed that too, but I wasn't going to ask you such thing, but okay, you said on your own. I've noticed the same thing, but I was like, better not ask such questions.
That's fine. That's okay.
How's the feel to live in a foreign country? You're a Cyprian, you live in the UK. Is it difficult or?
No. I mean, I've been here all my life, pretty much, and England it's my home. I love it over here. You know?
Yeah, the
It's a
same
good place.
situation.
Yeah, it's a good place to live. The MMA scene here is good. So I mean, I can't complain.
Yeah, I kind of understand you because I was born in Bulgaria and grew up in Serbia, lived whole life in Serbia. But compared to you, I missed my country. I miss it every 2 months.
Of course, I
Yeah.
understand.
So your moniker, I guess your moniker is related to your hairstyle during fighting, or
My hairstyle, my fighting style, my entrance, everything it's just all a part of me. It's all part of being crazy bear.
yeah, about your entrance. I was going to ask you a question on that about the entrance. Where did you find the inspiration for such an entrance? And can you describe it? Because can you describe it? Slowly what you do and how on, and how did you found the inspiration for your entrance?
I mean, with my entrances, they're all pretty similar, but it's all. I mean, I usually have a very heavy metal song, playing very loud and aggressive, but usually with a slow build up, and then it gets like quite loud and aggressive, like I said. And basically, I just walk out, I look at the crowd, I scream, like just because I'm in front of all these people, and then it's like a light switch switches on, and I'm in fight mode, and it's time to go to work.
I've noticed since you're a heavyweight guy that you mostly competed against taller guys. So I guess you're a jiu-jitsu guy. So is this a problem or not? Because many fighters complain when you're in the stand-up against a taller guy, it's kind of difficult.
No, it's difficult if you let it be difficult. I try to not allow it to be difficult. I mean, I'm 6'1", but all my opponents are usually 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" plus. So I mean, to be honest, after like they're 6'5" and above. After that, the strategy is pretty much the same every time, because staying close for big shots, don't give them any, no, don't give them the opportunity to use their range, So, I mean, just getting close, put them against the fence, take them down, and do what I gotta do. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like I said, I'm happy to fight whoever, whatever size, whatever skill level, whatever. If they like to grapple or strike, wrestle, whatever, I have no preference.
Oh, it's
Whatever.
amazing. Yeah, I like it. Can you talk a bit more on your first professional combat? I think it's Carlo Massara, right? Did I read well?
Yeah. Originally I was supposed to fight semi-professional, and then my opponent pulled out a couple of weeks before the show, and my coach says he's got me an opponent from Italy, but he'll only fight me professional. And so I was like, okay, fine, let's do it. And at that point, I was a bit nervous, but I thought, it's a fight to fight. And I come out, I picked him up, took him down, just got on full mount and just ground and pounded him, and got my first win in my first fight. So I was very happy because he was a big dude. I remember like when I saw him, I remember thinking like, this guy's massive, big.
So who is the most difficult opponent you've ever met during your whole career, but your whole career?
Um, I mean, I fought a few tough guys. Like Elizabeth South, he was really, really tough, very strong, very strong. Thiago Silva was a very tough opponent as well. David Grabowski, I mean,
Yeah.
those sorts of guys are tough, tough opponent.
About Thiago Silva, he is a former UFC star, and to be honest, I watched many of his competitions. He is one of the toughest, but he was light heavyweight then. I don't know what he did in heavyweight, but in light heavyweight, he was a very, very fearsome striker. But I think 3 rounds against him is a very, very big success, according to me.
Yeah, yes. I mean, yes and no. I mean, despite his name and his reputation, I still went into that fight to win. I still thought I could have won. I made a lot of mistakes in that fight. But like also in the lead up to the fight, I remember I got injured. I tore my left calf muscle 2 or 3 weeks before the fight. So the last 2 weeks, but my training was severely altered because of the injury, and also in the fight, I felt there was a lot of things that I couldn't do that I wanted to do. So I rushed a few things, and like I said, I made a lot of mistakes. And against someone like Togo Silva, you can't afford to make those sorts of mistakes.
You were on an 8-0 score, if I remember well, before the match versus Carlos Vemola. Honestly, Carlos Vemola is, according to me, after Yuri Prohaska and Lucia Pudilova, maybe the best Czech competitor ever. So, how did Carlos Vemola? I mean, how did he defeated you? Was he so better, or it was a mistake, or?
He was good, but to be honest, there was more mistakes on my part. That was a loss that I regret a lot because I feel like I made far too many mistakes in that fight. Like, and on the day of the fight, on the lead up to the fight, I let a lot of things get to me and affect me psychologically. And in the fight, I made mistakes as well. And yeah, like I said, like I just made a lot of mistakes and I suffered for it. And Carlos was a tough and aggressive competitor, and he capitalized. So that's what we do it.
About your submission history, I was viewing your record many times, and if I've noticed well, Kimura and rear naked chokes are your most often submission wins. Are these your favorite submissions, or you have a favorite submission on your own?
I think my favorite submission is my anaconda choke.
Oh, Anaconda.
I haven't done it in MMA yet, but I once won a submission jiu-jitsu submission a wrestling tournament with just using that one move. I did nothing else the whole tournament. All I did was an anaconda choke in all of my matches. So I think that's probably my favorite one. So hopefully one day I'll get a chance to pull off in an MMA fight.
It would be great. Actually, the last Anaconda I've seen is Makwan Amerikani's last competition, if you remember.
Yes. In the second fight with him.
Yeah. So Anaconda choke the same way Makwan does or something different? Is your
Oh,
favorite?
sorry. Yeah,
What?
yeah, yeah.
What did you say? I didn't hear you. Sorry.
No. Sorry, I didn't catch you. What was that?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you: is your Anaconda choke the same way like Makwan does it, or you have some, or it's a bit different?
I don't know. It's just the way that I do it. I mean, I've always done mine the same way. So I'm not sure if it's different or the same. I just do it how I do it.
Oh, great. Can you describe the way you finished? Correct me if I'm wrong. Kamil Bajelak. Do you read that way or?
Yeah, that's his name. Yeah. I fought him twice. Which time do you want me to discuss?
Both times, of course.
All the time.
Yeah.
The first time was with a TKO. I dropped him with an uppercut, and then he turtled up, and I started to pound him, and the referee jumped in. He said that the referee jumped in too soon, and he complained. So we had a rematch a few months later, or I think, yeah, a few months later, and that time I dropped him with an uppercut, and then instead of going pounding him, I just finished him with a key lock.
I was wondering about the first time. What's your opinion? Did the referee step in too early and waved off the contest or no? For
Yeah,
the
for sure.
first.
Yeah, no, he didn't step in too early at all. I thought it was the right decision. Uh, but like, because Camille, he wasn't doing anything. He wasn't trying to advance his position. He wasn't trying to improve what he was doing. He was laying there getting punched. If he tried to move a little bit, then maybe you could argue, but he didn't. But again, it's in the past. It doesn't matter. We had a second fight, and I won it even easier. So yeah, either way, it doesn't matter. It's done now.
Yeah, about the first fight, I also think it was a good stoppage because he didn't move,
Yeah.
and in most cases, I know according to UFC rules, it's strict now. If you don't move and don't do anything, the referee has the right to stop whenever he wants. If you don't do
Yeah.
anything,
Yeah.
so
Exactly. And
yeah,
he didn't do
yeah,
anything.
yeah. I guess. How did you TKOD Bob Sapp?
Um, with a ground and pound. Double legged him straight away. Got on top and just kept hitting him until the referee jumped in.
So people are talking about Bob Sapp like he's some kind of a beast, like he's some kind. I don't know. For me, he's just overhyped guy and so on.
This is the thing with Bob Sapp. There's two halves of the Bob Sapp career. There was the first half when he was a monster. There was the second half when he obviously was doing it just for the money. When I fought Bob Sapp, he was still winning fights. You know, he wasn't on that bad a losing streak. That he went on after he fought me. Prior to me, Bob Sapp, he was still winning fights. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he was still he still at that point he was still trying. He was still trying to fight, just to try to still be the beast. After me, it was like I said, was when he went on all those losses. So when I fought him, he was still dangerous. He still had reputation. He was still winning fights. So I still have to be careful.
So I guess you're the guy who snapped his winning streak and who forced him
Yeah,
on a 14 fight losing streak, right?
I am. Well, I am. After me, that was it. He lost all his fights. But before me, he was still winning.
Yeah, I remember that. I know. I read the site about those top lists and so on, and I know he was winning. After the loss, he was just 14 fights in a row, loss. Yeah,
I know. It's a shame because when he was the beast and he was trying, he was entertaining to watch. It's a shame.
maybe, maybe I don't know.
Uh,
He was funny.
I'm not saying he was the most talented, but he was entertaining. When he fought Ernesto Hughes, when he
Yes.
fought Nogueira, when he was fighting in his heyday in Pride, when he fought Jerome Lebana,
Yeah.
they were entertaining fights. Like he wasn't that technical. He wasn't like he would inspire you to start a jiu-jitsu class or anything. But he'd be entertaining though.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Definitely, he was entertaining, but his most entertaining competition for me, I think it wasn't MMA when Mirko Krokop broke his orbital bone.
If Krokop hits you with that, what was it? An overhand left or a straight left punch?
Straight left.
straight left, yeah, like when he lands that straight left, it hurts. Like, I mean, if he breaks your orbital bone, he breaks your orbital bone. Doesn't matter who you are, that's gonna hurt.
Absolutely. You fought another legend, if I remember well, you fought another legend, Rico Rodriguez, right?
Yeah, I did. That's correct.
So how was the competition against him? I mean, Rico Rodriguez is a real legend. For me, real legend.
Yeah, no, he is. He's a legit legend. He's former UFC champion. Had so many MMA competitions, so many jiu-jitsu competitions. He's even done professional boxing. I think he might even fought K1 as well. So he was like he was a legit legend and very tough opponent.
But I guess I guess you fight well against tough opponents as much as I could have noticed. With tough opponents, you didn't have a hard time during your career.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, I prefer to fight tough opponents. That's what I enjoy. That's why I'm in the sport to fight. Is to fight good name opponents. So I can put on a good performance for the crowd and and show that I belong in there with some of the best in the world and some of the biggest names in the world.
So let me ask you about how is this Bellator guy when you fought in Bellator? Dan Konechki. How do you read him?
Yeah,
The guy who
I
finished
believe
him with the guillotine
I,
choke.
I believe it is Kaneki. I
Konechki.
believe that. Yeah, I believe that's his name.
Yeah. How did you
Although
finish
it's
him
called
so quickly with the guillotine?
with him like he was a good jiu-jitsu guy. I think a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. So and he's quite good. He's quite good on the floor. So I knew he wanted to take it down, and when he shot in, he got in close because he grabbed my leg. But luckily, I was able. Not luckily, but I was able to stick in the submission and work for it, and in under a minute, stick it in and get the submission win.
It was a very quick win. I mean, you needed only 65 seconds if I remember well.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Also, about your last competition, I don't know if I will say the name properly. Louis Perry, right?
Yeah, Charlie Perry.
Yeah, Louis Perry. Okay, I watched that competition. I watched that bout, and I think it was 12-6. According to me, it looked like 12-6. So, what do you
Yeah,
think?
it was 12-6, and it was to the back of the head, so it was doubly illegal.
Yeah. So, what they
Yeah.
said? Will they repeat that competition or?
I would like to. I want to do it on on a big show because at the minute Bama, I'm not sure what's going on with them. So if we can't do it there, I would like to do it on another big show, whether it be a Bellator, a KSW, wherever. As long as we do a fight on the big stage, so I can show the world, how the fight should have gone. That's what matters to me.
So, who's the next in line for you officially?
Officially, I haven't got anything lined up. I'm still training, I'm still coaching, and I'm hoping to get a fight in later in the year. If I can't get a fight, sorry, sorry, if I can't get a contract signed with a big global show like Bellator, or if Baba's not around, then I think I'm going to fight in my hometown of Southend for UWC on November 16th.
Oh, it would have been great. I mean, United Kingdom has amazing promotions. I just wanted to tell you that there is no much difference between Cage Warriors and UFC. For example, Natalia Frederick could go easily against Whittaker and such guys. There is no difference at all. I mean, Cage Warriors
Yeah.
for me is very strong promotion. I don't know what you think about British promotions, but
Yeah, no, there are some very good British promotions and some skilled and a lot of skilled fighters within those promotions. So if there's any good shows that can put it on over here, hopefully we can.
what is your ultimate MMA dream? You know, the biggest dream.
I mean, I just want to be able to fight for a show like Bellator or the UFC, or KSW, fight on a big show for so I can be in front of a big audience and put on a good performance for everyone. As long as I can do that and I can make a living doing that, that's all I want. And just to do it for as long as I can.
It's awesome. Would you like to add anything to this conversation? Would you like to add something that we missed? And
I mean, no, I think you've covered quite a lot of things. To be honest, you've covered quite a lot of my career against some of my biggest opponents. So no, you've done a good job. You've done your research.
of course, I done research. I'm the guy who is trying to popularize, MMA in my country. But in my country, when you say MMA, people are looking like you're insane. But in the foreign countries, people are great.
And I mean, it takes time. I mean, like in Cyprus, I remember like I've seen the sport over there grow over the last like 5, 10 years. Like every few years over there, Cyprus is getting in Cyprus, the sport's getting bigger and bigger. You know, there's some really good gyms in Cyprus now, like Trojan. So like there's a lot of like it all comes slowly but surely. The sports is coming all over the world. So it's just a matter of time. Some countries it might take a bit longer, but it'll get there in the end.
I'm sure of that. MMA is a global sport now, and it comes to every single country of the world. I'm pretty much sure. I'm pretty much sure every single country of the world will have its own MMA fighter. I'm also doing research in such things, but accordingly, got to say, even in Central America, only Belize doesn't have a star fighter. Everybody has, so it's amazing. Very, very much global thing.
Yeah, exactly. And it's very good to see. You know, I'm proud to represent Cyprus and England when I fight because they're both great countries and they both got both got the fair share of good fighters. You know, so it's an exciting time to be involved in MMA because overall in the sport there's just so many big and good things going on.
Yeah, I agree. I just hope Cyprus will have a few more stars. There are rising contenders and so on, but we'll see what happens next.
It will. I mean, I've seen a couple of good guys in Cyprus, you know, lately. Luis Charalambos, he's going to be a big star. He's good. He's really tough and durable and exciting to watch. So there's and I've seen a few other guys. So sooner or later, before you know it, there'll be a few more big stars.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. I'd like to see every single country on the map of MMA, on the world's map of MMA. So it would be the best dream I dream of.
Of course.
Yeah.
It sounds like a good dream.
Yeah, that's where we both agree. Thanks a lot for the interview. It was a great interview with Stav Economou, a Cyprian MMA star, and I'm so glad for it. Thank you once again, Stav.